I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Oklahoma has won yet another Big 12 championship game, this time against Iowa State, 27-21 on Saturday, and Jerry World down in Arlington, Texas. Barry, let's talk about the six, first of all. I mean, obviously, this is, in modern times, unprecedented. You don't have teams winning this many conference championships. What was it that got the Sooners to six today?
Well, I thought for consistently throughout the day, it was the defense. The offense was excellent in the first half, 24 points, moved the ball, most of the half. But then in the second half, the defense really rose up, and when the offense slumped, the defense didn't, and so held the fort. And then at the end, of course, Spencer Rattler's unit made enough plays to get down and kick a field goal and really put the onus on Iowa State. And the defense made one last play. And it was a rough and tumble game, a difficult game. They're not supposed to be easy, and this one wasn't. But the Sooners came out in the end, making the plays to win it.
Was it kind of fitting in a season that has been so weird? I mean, with all the pandemic stuff, the stops and starts, games getting postponed, games getting canceled. Is it almost fitting that this Big 12 game ended up being another? I mean, it was a tough day, like you said. Was this just a fitting end to this season?
Well, I guess so. I thought it was a great day for the Big 12 because I thought both teams acquitted themselves very well. It wasn't 49-48. It wasn't that kind of thriller. It was just good, tough football with lots of good offense, but a whole bunch of good defense on both sides. And I thought, the Sooners were the big winner, but I thought the conference was a winner also because Iowa State was a worthy foe. Iowa State had gotten a lot of love from the playoff committee for the last 2 or 3 weeks. We saw some reason why. Iowa State is no fraud. They were the legit deal. Sooners had to play well to beat them. They played well, and they barely beat them. And it was, I thought it was a very good day for the conference. And at the end of 2020, you have to say it's a memorable year for the Sooners to come back from where they were, 0-2 in Ames, looking like they might not even make it to Arlington to defend their title and then come out as the champion. I think this year that we all want to forget, in some ways it's memorable for Oklahoma football.
Well, when you talk about getting to this point, let's talk on both sides of the ball. The offense for a second, Barry, came out, played really, really well in the first half. Even saw them answer that first Iowa State touchdown with a quick score right before halftime, but then kind of slumped in the second half. Obviously, it was enough of a cushion to ultimately win the game, but what'd you like out of the offense today?
Well, I thought they ran the ball well. Ramondre Stevenson had 5 runs of double digits. He never got thrown for a loss. So they consistently ran it fine. Rattler made good decisions. He only had one pass that was even close to an interception. It came on a tipped ball. And he threw the ball away when he needed to. He threw it on target. Just an excellent all-around performance, I thought, by Spencer Rattler and the offense. Now, it did slump. In one 6-possession span, the Sooners went 3 and out 5 times. So I don't see that much from Lincoln Riley. But it was that when you get to championship games, it's not supposed to be easy. And today,
well, it wasn't easy because Iowa State offensively got going, made some things hard on the OU defense. But obviously, the OU defense, I thought that last play for the OU defense, Barry, when you saw the defensive front getting pressure, flushing Brock Purdy out, and then Trey Brown coming up with the timely interception. It was kind of a microcosm of their year. They really have had a defensive front that has made things happen. And then they just came up with plays when they ultimately needed to. It felt like that was kind of the story of the season and of the day to some extent too.
Yeah, this defense grew up right before our eyes. They made some improvement a year ago, but I wasn't, crazy about everything that we saw early in this year. Same way that, they weren't that good in Ames. They weren't good in the second half against Kansas State. They weren't good in crunch time against Texas. But for the most part, they've really grown up here in the last 5-6 weeks, and we saw that today. They made life miserable for Brock Purdy, the all Big 12 quarterback. They made life miserable for Breece Hall, the nation's leading rusher. Now, they did a pretty good job on the tight ends. Charlie Kolar had a pretty good game. Xavier Hutchinson had some big plays. But for the most part, OU's defense stood tall today. And I think we can finally say, that maybe the OU defense, it's been a long time coming.
Finally, maybe say. Well, okay. But before we get out of here, the last question about this OU team, what happens next? Are they coming back here for the Cotton Bowl, Barry, or do you see something different for this team?
Oh, I think it's the Cotton Bowl. The only caveat I think is if something crazy happened with the playoff committee. As we speak, Notre Dame's getting clocked by Clemson. Does the committee have the stomach to put Notre Dame in the playoff, coming off a 5-touchdown loss? I don't know. Will they get some religion on Ohio State half a season? I doubt it. I think the Buckeyes are in. So I think OU is going to be on the outside of this one. They've been on the inside of a lot of close calls, so really no reason for the Sooners to gripe much. And I think it's probably Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl, which would be it'd probably be number 5 versus number 6 in the rankings. So it'd be a great bowl game and a chance for OU to further the reputation it's made down the stretch of this 2020 season.
All right, that bowl announcement will come on Sunday. We'll have the coverage of all of that, the opponent, times, all that sort of fun stuff. So lots more to come. But again, Sooners win their 6th consecutive Big 12 championship, 27-21 over Iowa State. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at oklahoman.com and every day in the Oklahoman.